This comes to us from Stephen Totilo, who is a former Kotaku journalist, now runs his own website called GameFile. He says, new, I spoke to Sucker Punch's Brian Fleming about the Ghost of Yōtei Studios quarter-century PlayStation relationship, their smaller dev team strategy, and more. In order to do something great, you need a really incredible idea and not quite enough time. How poetic. How poetic. He continues and says, we did the interview last Friday, which he corrects and says he meant to say Monday. Sucker Punch had just fired an artist who posted a joke about the Charlie Kirk killing. Now, I want to make sure we focus this right here. This verbiage that wokies do shows who they are. Mask off right away. You can tell just by reading between the lines on how they approach it. Who posted a joke? How about instead of framing it saying it was a joke, how about framing it saying who posted a disgusting comment spitting on the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Oh, that doesn't sound as pleasant, does it? Oh, it's a joke. It's just a joke, brah. I had to ask about it and expected a no comment. Look at him. I had to ask about it. Like his hand was forced, guys. He didn't want to do it, but he had to. But he said, making light of someone's murder is a deal breaker for us. And you know what? With that quote, if it was just that, I'd say, wow, okay, Sucker Punch might not be as woke as many thought it was. Wow. Now I might want to hear them out. And this was just a complete misunderstanding all around. But unfortunately, I got some bad news for you guys. That's not the case with what's happening here. One, this is from Monday of this week. There has been no official statement from Sucker Punch on social media since the firing, hoping that it would be swept under the rug. And it wasn't. And the fact that they just glazed over it and pretended like nothing happened and didn't publicly talk about it is a terrible look, because all that tells the public is they're doubling down on their stance that they had to do it because the company would probably be canceled from the consumers if they didn't, but they didn't want to do it. And they didn't want to make a statement about it because deep down, they feel the same way. And they just don't want people to know that. So they just want people to forget about it and move on from it. That's at least the way I took it. And I said, but it was fine. But it was fine for this hiring. I'm Antifa. So's my wife, Erica Ishii, star of the show. And this is the article from GameFile itself. And I brought it to the point. It's a very long article. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, just to the point that anyone actually cares about. Awkward timing. This interview had long been scheduled for Monday, but a few days before we conducted it, Sucker Punch was in the news for an entirely unexpected reason. Maybe unexpected for you, not shocking to me. As a result, our interview started with something different. On September 10th, the famous, controversial, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated while speaking at a college in Utah. Later that evening, Drew Harrison, an artist with about a decade of experience on staff at Sucker Punch, posted to social media, I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. That's what he's calling a joke? A reference also to the alleged killer of a healthcare executive last year. As Kotaku would report, Harrison and Sucker Punch faced an online backlash from the anti-woke crowd. Hold on. Why are you framing it like we're the bad people here for calling this shit out? What the fuck is wrong? This is right here. You are so out of touch with the consumer. You write like this. People are not retarded. They understand what you're trying to say, and they know who you are from how you write. Angered by Harrison's joke, she was soon fired. Look, guys, if it was just a joke, she wouldn't be fired. This is not just a fucking joke. This is not just a fucking joke. This stands for way more than shits and giggles. This is saying that you are backing the guy that shot the healthcare guy, and that you're trying to make a joke on, oh, it's okay that Charlie Kirk got shot because Mario Luigi are cool bros. That's fucked up. That's not a joke. And this is coming from a guy that's all about dark humor. That's just fucked. Days later, responding to a fan's anger at the studio over the incident, she wrote, "Sucker Punch is amazing and one of the last few bright shining lights in the game industry. I still support them, and I cannot condone any animosity directed at them. I figured Fleming wouldn't talk about the firing, that I'd get a no comment, but on September 15th, the political and corporate reaction to people's reactions to Kirk's killing was becoming a major story. Not that what they said was the story, but the reaction that people had to the reactions was the story." Okay, my goodness. The deflection here by Stephen is impressive. Even more the case as the week continued. As it turned out, I couldn't not ask about it. "The facts are accurate," Fleming told me. "Drew's no longer an employee here. I think we're aligned as a studio that celebrating or making light of some." What, I think? Why would you use that terminology? I think we're aligned at the studio that celebrating or making light of someone's murder is a deal breaker for us? Is that a Freudian slip? I think? And we condemn that. Kind of. What are these words? I think? Kind of? In no uncertain terms. Well, it certainly sounds pretty uncertain as fuck with what you're saying. I think, kind of. We don't stand for this. Wait, what? Clearly you do. Like, you just don't want to say it. That's sort of I think, kind of, sort of. This is not a great quote. And that's kind of, here we got kind of. What is this is why you need to put out a statement. This looks terrible. This is so bad. That's kind of where we are. Are you fucking sure? God. You know what? Don't answer that. I can't deal with an answer to that. I said I was curious how you weigh a person's 10-year run at a studio against the social. Oh, try to align it with cancel culture. It's just a social media post. Hey, it was just murdering one guy. That's all it was. They worked there for 10 years and then they murdered someone. Oh, they worked there 10 years and then they stole from the company. But they worked there for 10 years. They worked there for 10 years and they banged the CEO's wife. But they worked there for 10 years. How do you weigh that against these things? But a rep for Sony who was present for the interview, that's normal, said they wouldn't be commenting further. We moved on. And then no one else cared about anything you had to say because no one cares about Sucker Punch Studios. Or Sucker Punch Productions. This company is going to completely fall apart. This game will be their undoing. And it's not going to be from how they handled this situation. It's not going to be from the comment that started it. It's not going to be from Erika Ishii aligning herself with Antifa or blocking anyone that has critical feedback. It's not going to be from any of those things. It's going to be from all of those things combined. The entire woke rot that's run throughout the entire studio has destroyed it from the inside out. Oh, and by the way, a game with a girl boss that looks to me, at least on the surface, I could be wrong, like an asset flip from a game that was actually amazing, that originally started out as supposedly DLC, that they were like, you know what? Let's just make a full game out of this. There's a lot of hesitation with that. And I wouldn't be betting on that horse to be successful in the long run. Savvy says they're aligned all right, full of activists who hired a proudly terrorist-associated individual to be the face, to be their face, and other staff had liked the post as well. Good point. That's another thing. Other people working at Sucker Punch were liking the posts. The wallet remains closed. Also, it's not so much the jokes, but the encouragement and celebration of it. The utter joy of someone they disagree with being assassinated while saying they don't deserve to be fired for their speech, that really is getting people. I could not agree more with that. Twisted says Sucker Punch is getting what they fucking deserve. This one here, which I thought was hysterical. This is like a post to promote it. News. Sucker Punch production co-founder Goes to Tsushima made a statement. Condemns the act of making light of Charlie Kirk's death. The studio as a whole is against it. Confirmed that the employee who made the joke is no longer employed at the studio. This should say ... We're aligned, because he said, I think, to start this off, we're aligned at the studio. Will this affect your decision to buy Ghost of Yōtei? Will you buy or pass? And I really want to focus on this one from Punch Taylor. It was a pretty wishy-washy statement. Definitely felt like they were more reluctant to make one. Maybe that's why it took them 9 days. And again, they did not post an official press release saying we stand against this. Across the board, we will not stand for it at our company. That is not acceptable. But what do? They pussyfoot around it, fire the person, and then try to pretend like nothing happened because a bunch of the people at the studio liked the post. And I would argue that deep down at Sucker Punch, they're concerned that more people are going to be rooted out and found of saying shit or liking shit. And they're like, we can't fire everyone at the studio. So let's just fire this one person that got caught and just not make a massive statement because we don't want to be held to that. And hopefully this just goes away. I guarantee you that's what was going through their mind with all of this. This comes to us from Kyle. It says, no, you didn't, Sucker Punch. A whispered sweet nothing to Totillo claiming only anti-woke were upset, amplified only by universally despised and soon to be shut down publications like Kotaku. Nothing to say about Antifa lesbian, though, so I'll be loud on your behalf. Nothing at all about that. And I'll leave it with this one here. The Desert Bro, Sucker Punch guy's comments on the matter of the dev having a blast with Charlie Kirk's murder have finally surfaced. According to him, this was already last Friday, but the interview is only releasing now. That's the other thing, by the way. For him to sit on this shit for a week is wild. That's wild. Not to say, hey guys, I interviewed them. I will be having a post come out on Friday, but here's a quote they gave me about this to try to calm the waters of people. Even if it's out of context and leaving out the I think, it's kind of dick that Totillo didn't even do that. He didn't need to. Sucker Punch shouldn't expect him to. It might have tried to help save face for them. But Sucker Punch needs to be accountable themselves and post something themselves. And I would argue, even if they do it now, it's too late. Because it would be after everyone's demanding them and forcing their hand to do it. Instead of, I don't know, just doing the right thing right away and being like, yeah, we fired them. We don't accept that at our studio. And any other questions, please let us know. Boom, no problem. Moving forward. I think deep down they're worried about Erika Ishii. And they're like, oh shit, if we bend the knee to these people for this, what are we going to do about the main character? We can't just get a new one. BlueSky users are, of course, doubling down on boycotting the game they were never going to play in the first place because they're clinically deranged. But how do you guys feel about it? And this is the original post here. And disappointing to hear. Guess I'll pass on this game. A video game company firing an artist for joking about a dead Nazi. Into the trash he goes. Unfortunately for them, referring to a Nazi with such a neutral term as somebody is a deal breaker for me. These people weren't going to buy the game anyways. Woof. So they'll be recasting Erika Ishii, I expect. What's Gina Carano up to these days? Nothing good. Lol. Oh, classic. Never change BlueSky. Here's the thing. Sucker Punch forgot that the people that actually buy the games do not ideologically align with Sucker Punch. So it's oil and water. It's not mixing well. And they're falling back on their ideology instead of selling the game. And ultimately, it's going to bite them in the ass. Is the game going to completely fail and do terrible numbers? No, I think it's going to do okay. Will it break even? Eventually, I think it will, but it's not going to be any kind of mega blockbuster that they probably thought it was going to be when they first set out to make this game. It's going to be a very remedial, middle of the road game long term. I would fully expect half the sales, lifetime, long term sales compared to Ghost of Tsushima. And that is giving it credit. It might not even get to half. I'd say a third, to be fair. A third. Yeah, a third. But yeah, we'll see. I'm very interested, especially when it comes to Steam for the concurrent player count. But we will leave that one there.